Multiple entries of the same person in voter rolls. Same voter, multiple states. Around 80 voters in a single address. These shocking claims made by Congress leader Rahul Gandhi in an expose of alleged massive voter theft have shaken up the country. At the center of these allegations made by the leader of the opposition in the parliament is the Mahadevpura Assembly segment in Bengaluru, where he said that over 1 lakh votes were stolen to ensure a BJP win in 2024 Lok Sabha election. Have such concerns over voter registration issues been raised in the past? How has the Chief Electoral Officer of the state responded? What must be done to ensure a comprehensive electoral roll reform? Namaskara, welcome to Decode Karnataka. I'm Nalini Nachiyar. A political storm erupted last week after Congress leader Rahul Gandhi accused the Election Commission of India of criminal fraud and colluding with the BJP to steal elections. The Congress's investigation focused on one assembly segment within the Bangalore Central Parliamentary Constituency, Mahadevpura. He claimed that 1,250,000 fake votes had been created in 5 waves in this constituency. Duplicate voters, fake and invalid addresses, bulk voters at a single address, invalid photos and misuse of Form 6. Mr. Gandhi has since demanded that the EC share digital voter rolls and also give access to video footage of polling booths. In light of these claims, the EC has gone on the defensive and issued a notice asking Mr. Gandhi to provide documents to substantiate his allegations so that a detailed inquiry can be conducted. These serious allegations also remind us of another major controversy around voter data theft and alleged misuse in 2022. Chilume Educational, Cultural and Rural Development Trust, an NGO tasked with carrying out the sweep campaign, was accused of collecting electors' data and selling it to politicians. One of the 3 constituencies that Chilume was active in was Mahadevpura, the other 2 being Shivajinagar and Chickpet. To discuss this issue, today we speak to Katyayani Chamraj, Executive Trustee Civic Bangalore and State Representative of Karnataka Election Watch. Rahul Gandhi has made some serious allegations recently of 5 types of voter thefts that have happened specifically in the Mahadevpura Assembly segment. And he detailed the many different ways it was done, and how he's also alleged the EC of colluding with the BJP of helping them win the BJP the 2024 elections. But activists have raised the issue of electoral roll discrepancies in Bengaluru for years now, time and again. So what are some of the concerns that you have seen that have persisted over the last few elections?
Definitely, all the errors that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been exposing, it is true that the electoral roll is a mess. We have been evidencing that since several decades. In fact, we pointed out in one ward that is in Shantinagar, where I am located, that not even the polling booth areas were contiguous, and the map that was accompanying the polling booth area was distorted. It was not even true to the geography of the area. And we found that parents are in one polling booth area and the children are in another polling booth area. We also found house numbers where Hindus, Muslims, Christians are all living happily together, in one single bungalow address. So these are continuing errors that are happening, and also the wrong addresses. We know from the residents association that we were running that person was living in a particular street, but we knew, but the roll showed that they were living somewhere else. So these errors are persisting in spite of our efforts to get it all corrected. Except that when Mr. Vidyashankar was the CEO of Karnataka, he took our complaints into notice, and at least he got the polling booth areas made contiguous and the maps geographically accurate, and also he made sure that a person living in that area is shown in that polling booth area alone and not in multiple polling booth areas. But looks like those errors have crept back now. This is a terrible mess that is there, and whatever Mr. Rahul Gandhi has exposed is very true, that these errors persist in the electoral rolls and they need to be cleaned up. One wrong claim that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has made, I need to explain that.
Yes.
He has said that about 33,000 applications were filled on Form 6 and that Form 6 should be used only for the those electors who turn 18 years, and it is meant only for the fresh electors.
Right.
I'm sorry, that is completely wrong. If anyone has a complaint for non-inclusion of their name, he may be 70 years old, 80 years old, or whatever. The only way they can file a complaint and ask for inclusion is by filing Form 6 for inclusion of their name. So it is not only for the 18-year-olds.
Okay.
But his allegation that this has led to
Correct.
voter fraud and that this has actually helped BJP to win, there is no proof of that.
Correct. With that, the legitimacy of that has not been proven yet.
Yes, that has not been proved.
Correct.
From my own experience, I can tell you that the booth level officers do a messy job. In my own case, I gave a Form 7 saying that my daughter no longer lives with me and I am the applicant asking for the deletion of her name.
Okay.
But you know what happened? My daughter's name was retained and my name was deleted.
Okay.
So these are gross errors. So how the AEROs and the electoral registration officers, EROs, are allowing such discrepancies to come into the electoral roll?
Right.
It is for the election commission to hold them accountable. Why are they not being held accountable for multiple entries, wrong entries, house numbers being shown as 0?
Correct.
And this is gross inefficiency of the electoral system and the election commission.
Okay. Now, all of that now brings me, to Mahadevapura specifically. Now, the segment particularly has a high migrant population, and process of registrations and address change, like you mentioned, is very long-winding and time-consuming. So much so that certain reports say residents have claimed that they have been discouraged by electoral officers themselves from changing their address to Mahadevapura. And when it is done, there are high chances of them having been rejected. Even we reported on it when this Million Voters Rising did a resident-led campaign. Between 2012 and 2018, around 66% of the applications were rejected. So my question to you is, say, in a place like this, in a constituency like this, where a lot of migrant people come and then they head back home, and when it becomes very difficult to register, or once you've registered, to delete, it then, sort of gives way for manipulation, for misuse. So could an easier method of doing registrations or deletion have to be conceived?
Many activists are asking that there should not be a central database. Without a central database linked, I would say it has to be linked to some kind of unique ID. It can be Aadhaar, that so that this kind of duplication cannot happen. If there is a single unique ID, only then duplication can be detected. But you also need to have a central database. Now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has given the example of one Aditya Srivastav, I think, whose name appears in 3 different states. So how will you locate duplication across states if you don't have a central database with a unique ID? So some people who are opposing a central database on the ground that, it can be used for surveillance, it can be used for doing any kind of privacy transgression. I think for that you need a different law. The data protection law has to protect who has access to this central database, and whether you can find out who is misusing it. Those things have to be written into the data protection law. So, and this central database, we are asking through our organization, it should be available at the ward level. And you have to make it a unique system where only there is one database of every citizen in the ward. Right now, as we are saying in Karnataka, a survey is done to identify the backward classes. Another survey is done to identify SC/STs. Another survey is done to enroll all children in school. The data to create a database of all children. Food department will do its own survey to create a ration card. So every department is engaged in doing a survey of the same population. and the same families. Each department should not be doing their own surveys and creating multiple databases which are not cohering with one another.
Right. Okay.
You know, and this database needs to be constantly updated. It cannot be a status quo kind of thing which is revised once in a year or something, which is what the election commission is trying to do. It should have continuous updation through birth and death registry being linked to that, and also in and out migration. Section 7 of the Registration of Electors Rules, 1960, from where I have been quoting all these rules, clearly says that when there are officials on official duty or the defense personnel who are not resident in their normal ordinary residence, you know, and they are transferred here or there and they are serving the government somewhere else, then Section 7 says they can apply that their name should be included in their original residence where they were ordinarily resident. You know, so, and Section 8A was introduced to say that overseas voters who are not even living here can apply to be registered as voters at their place of ordinary residence in India and have their name included in the electoral roll even though they are not even living in the country. That is the solution for the migrants. They have to maybe put a new section 8C which says that temporary migrants who have come to work in Bangalore or they stay 3 months here, 3 months in Maharashtra, 3 months somewhere else, but they are never living for 6 months at their place of ordinary residence. And if that provision is allowed, then that person can file an application saying that I want my name to be retained at my original home place where I am ordinarily resident, but I am a migrant traveling all over the country. So I don't want to be enrolled in Bengaluru or in Mumbai where I go to work, but I want my name to be retained there.
No, but if they want to come here,
if they want to, they can. Register? The option should be given to them. Where do they want to be enrolled? You know,
if I'm working here, the policies of this state impact me more than maybe where I was originally a resident.
Well, when the electoral roll is being prepared, it says that if you are resident here for more than 6 months, you have a right to be enrolled in the electoral roll. So if they are here for 6 months, definitely they can ask for to be included by submitting Form 6. So those facilities for inclusion of the voter has to be enhanced, you know, and not allow it to allow more exclusion to happen, which is what is happening in Bihar. Now, what is happening in Bihar is that the temporary migrants who are not there, their names are just being deleted. You simply cannot go and delete names of persons who are temporarily out of the ordinary residence. You know, that is a gross error that is happening in Bihar, which is why it is disenfranchising lakhs and lakhs of people.
These recent allegations and claims have also brought back memories of what happened in 2022-23 in Bangalore, where an NGO was accused of voter data theft. Chilume Trust, which had been assigned to do sweep campaign, was accused of collecting electors' data and selling it to politicians. Of course, there was a investigation that happened, which then said that, you know, no manipulation was found and the leak was plugged before it could even happen, but they did collect data illegally. But all of this seems to be happening and on the rise. And, you know, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, definitely. No NGO should have been given the, you know, the designation of a booth level officer. A booth level officer can only be a government official. And they created false IDs. The Chilume volunteers were given false IDs showing them as booth level officers, which they were not. And so the illegality was exposed. And what is happening even now in Bihar, for example, is that political parties are being asked to get booth level agents who are party agents, and they have been given the right to collect applications in bulk and hand it over to the election officials. Handing over in bulk is not at all allowed.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, when we try to get the slum dwellers, enrolled in the voter roll, they said you cannot issue these forms in bulk, even to the NGO. And now how are they allowing booth level agents of political parties to be collect applications in bulk and hand it over in Bihar? So, and also I think more than lakhs of people have been enrolled as volunteers, and they have been given the right to collect forms and submit again.
Right.
Mr. Jagdeep Chokar of ADR was in Bangalore 2 days ago, and he addressed our seminar, panel discussion. Mr. Jagdeep Chokar pointed out that earlier the voters decided who will form the government by their vote. But now the right to form the government, who will form the government, has been given to the Election Commission, because they are deciding who will be the polling agent, who will be the booth level agent, and who will be the volunteers who belong to, whose neutrality and partisanship has not been checked, you know. So you are allowing politically partisan people to get involved in getting the names of electors enrolled without proper checks. The very right to decide who is a citizen has been handed over to the Election Commission, which only the Home Ministry has the right to do.
Which brings me to this, you know, that what we're talking about here, parts of it about voter registration issues are also systemic flaws. However, following the recent developments, the EC has gone on sort of a defensive, and it wants to like shun any sort of scrutiny, and it's asking for affidavit under oath taking and all of that from Rahul Gandhi, which, you know, we'll keep aside. But there have been consistent, there has been a consistent sort of crisis of lack of public trust. So how can the EC now address it, this long-standing crisis of public trust, long-standing charges of a lack of transparency? What must it do?
They have to take note of whatever Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said, and build trust by doing the investigation themselves, you know, and show that they are non-partisan. You know, only when they examine all the complaints that have come and correct them, the multiple entries cannot be tolerated. So they have to show that they are sincere in removing all the errors that have come to light, and take onus and punish the EROs who have allowed such discrepancies to appear in the electoral roll. Why were they not monitoring such discrepancies at all, and just signing off and allowing all these, wrong entries to be made, and not checking why 18 names are there in a single house, which has 10 feet by 10 feet. So the onus is on the Election Commission to hold their officials accountable and restore the faith of the citizen in the system. So I would say, that doing this retrospective exercise in Bihar, saying that you now have to prove that you were a citizen or that you are a citizen, and having all these discriminations of a voter who voted in before 2003 and discriminating against those who voted after 2003, I think is a way of disenfranchising lakhs and lakhs of people, because where is a document which the Home Ministry has given us to prove that we are citizens? So what is happening in Bihar is a dangerous thing, because they are using it as a pilot project, and they are envisioning that this whole exercise will be escalated to the entire country. And if you do really escalate it to the entire country, crores will get disenfranchised. Do we want that to happen in our country? This is something we need to ward against, and we should prevent this escalation from happening. And like I said, everybody who's resident currently in India should be enrolled so that no one gets disenfranchised, and only future persons who enter India should be asked to prove their citizenship, and everybody else should automatically be considered a citizen of India.
While the Congress's analysis has not been substantiated yet, the Election Commission's current standoff with Rahul Gandhi is being seen as an attempt to avoid scrutiny. but continued voter roll irregularities and anomalies are systemic flaws and need long-term solutions by the EC. In Karnataka, with CM Siddaramaiah announcing an inquiry by the Law Department into the Mahadevpura issue, more developments are expected in the coming days, and we will continue to follow it and bring it to you. I'll see you in the next episode of Decode Karnataka. Until then, subscribe to The Hindu.